DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Let's talk business here. Let's talk selling, especially, and not just selling, but also relationship building. And this is an important thing that I've talked about with my Work on Your Game live event, which is happening in January 2022 down here in Miami, Florida. And someone was just texting me about this yesterday. As a matter of fact, I forgot to mention my text line in my last couple videos, but I have a daily motivation text that I send out every morning to everyone who's in my texting community. If you want to receive that, just text me at the number 305-384-6894. The number is listed down below as well. Just text me there. You get my daily motivation text every morning. But the thing is this. While we all know that we have social media these days, we got YouTube, you have all the other social platforms and all different ways you can communicate with people without leaving your house from the comfort of your own desk or computer chair. Understand something, that serious relationships and big business deals still to this day still require face-to-face contact. They still oftentimes require a handshake. Relationships, real relationships, is going to have to be a handshake that takes place at some point. A lot of big business deals get done with face-to-face conversations. Now, these what do I want to call it? These standards are relaxing a little bit now for a couple reasons. Number one, because we had COVID and we know a lot of people either couldn't or didn't want to meet face-to-face and have face-to-face conversations. That's one reason. Another reason is because of how convenient the software is, the technology is, that some people who were usually averse to this kind of stuff, they got to using things like Zoom and got to using things like FaceTime and stuff like that because they didn't have a choice, and they finally got comfortable with it. So now people are becoming more relaxed in having these conversations in face-to-faces on computers, not in phones and not in person. So it's becoming a little bit more relaxed. But at the same time, understand that if you want to build real relationships, you have to be able to look people in their face and shake hands. If you want to have a network, you want to have connections, then you have to be willing to go to where people are actually at and talk to them. Talk to people actually to their faces. This is not something that is just going to completely just go away just because we have Zoom, just because we have Facebook, and just because we have FaceTime and all the rest, whatever those other platforms happen to be. Understand that this is a part of life that isn't going away. So for you, because someone had just asked me this in my text the other day, they were saying that they're a singer, they're a vocalist, and they wanted to know, is there a way that they can network and build relationships without leaving their house? And I was kind of perplexed by the question, because I'm thinking to myself, why would you even want to do that? You're a singer. So in order for you to sing, for me to get the value of your voice, I need you to actually be in the room. Like, I'm not hiring you to sing on Zoom. Like, I want you to actually come to the venue and sing. So why would you want to build relationships through the phone or through a computer? And they were saying, well, they just get nervous when they have people looking at them and things like that. And I said to them, well, what we need to address is not the issue of you doing your networking through a computer. What we need to address is the fact that you get uncomfortable when people are looking at you or whatever that is. We need to go deeper into that. Now, mind you, we're just texting, so, and I don't know this person, so I don't know the depth of what this challenge is. I will have to ask a lot more questions and get a lot more information from this individual. But understand something, y'all. That face-to-face conversation, that's not going away. So even if you can't meet somebody in person, get on Zoom, get on FaceTime, at least be able to look at them through your device if you can't look at them to their face. It's important because as human beings, when we make a connection with somebody and we put our trust in a person, and if you're going to make a connection and give trust, you're going to need a connection and trust with somebody if you're going to give them money, right? So if you're going to ask somebody for $1,000 of their money or $10,000 or $50,000 of their money, there needs to be some type of trust and connection there. Either meaning a whole bunch of time has been invested that makes up for the lack of physical contact, or some physical contact has been made at some point. Now, if you want to make money quickly, you need to be able to make that contact, or at least be willing to do so. So how often are you going and actually meeting people in person? How strong are your in-person people skills? And it's interesting these days that it seems like a lot of people just don't have them anymore. And this is not because it's not just a whole bunch of young people who just never had to do stuff like this. This is people who are old enough to know. They're old enough to know what it was like when we didn't have these devices. It's only been, what, 10 years since you could do all this stuff on a computer? So it's people who are old enough to know what it was like. They were actual adults when you had to meet people in person in order to get any type of business deal done. But they seem to be averse to doing anything like that these days. You still need to do this. All right, this still matters, and I'm not saying this as a punitive thing. This is not a punishment. This is actually a good thing for you if you have the people skills to talk to people, shake hands. You know how to be personable when you're dealing with people. You know how to hold a conversation. You can just hold a conversation with another human being who's sitting there right in front of you or standing right in front of you. You're good at small talking. All of these things matter. All of these conversations matter. And when you're able to build trust and build a connection with a person that way in person, then you could do more stuff with that same individual virtually because you already have the in-person connection. But if the in-person connection was never made, then it's going to be a little bit harder. It's going to be a little bit harder to make that conversion, to make that sale, to get that money, to get that trust, to get that cooperation from a person who doesn't know you on that deeper personal level. And I'll put it to you like this. One in-person conversation, 1 hour of in-person conversation with somebody that goes smoothly, it goes well, that's worth like 15 Zoom conversations with the same individual. Now, again, there are caveats to that. The better you are at conversing, the more skilled you are at doing it, even if you're doing it through Zoom, the more credibility you have behind your name, meaning the more this person already knows that you're legit before they even come around you. All of those things can kind of shorten the learning curve, if you understand what I'm saying. But at the same time, I don't care who you are. If you have the ability to do it in person, it will happen a lot faster than if you need to do it through Zoom or through a phone. You follow what I'm saying? So these in-person skills, these interpersonal skills of talking to someone in the flesh are still important. They will never go away. The value of them won't go away. And again, it shortens the curve. It shortens the timeline for how fast you can build connection and trust with a person in order to consummate any kind of deal or cooperation, or you want to influence them or persuade them. That's why all these things matter. So at my next event, Work on Your Game Live, happening January 21st, 22nd here in Miami, I'm spending an entire day on leadership and an entire day on communication, where both of those topics will touch on what I'm talking about right here. We're going to do more than touch on it. We're going to pick it up, turn it around, make it work. We're going to figure out how you can make this work for yourself. So that's at Work on Your Game Live. The website is down below. It's workonyourgame.live. You can get your tickets to that event. Still, I think until December 15th is probably when it's going to be the cutoff day for getting tickets. And again, you want to get my daily motivation text every day. My number is 305-384-6894. Work on your game. Dre all day.